Hello, and thank you for joining me today to discuss the investigation of tactile and proprioceptive components for object manipulation and perception. My name is Jacob Perrine. My committee consists of Dr. Marco Santello, Dr. Stephen Helms-Tillery, and Dr. Simone Toma. And this project was completed through the Neural Movement and Control Laboratory. This project focuses mainly on haptic sensory integration, which is comprised of two sensory modalities, tactile feedback and proprioceptive feedback. And we're going to kind of manipulate and play around with these two sensory modalities through a reach, grasp, and lift task in virtual reality. And after we're done manipulating and playing around with these two sensory modalities, we're actually going to try our best to quantify how much those two modalities play into haptic integration through a psychophysical analysis and methodology. So this is completed through 3 different experiments, but the protocol throughout the experiments is exactly the same. The subject is going to lift a block, drop the block, lift another block, drop that one, and then tell me which of the two they thought was heavier. The first experiment focuses only on the kinesthetic signals, or also known as those proprioceptive inputs. So this is how the experiment will look. And as you can see, the subject is only going to be interacting with the virtual environment here. So, as you can see, the subject is going to grab and lift the first object, release that, and then go ahead and go for that second lift. Something that's very important to keep in mind, we take out all visual perceptions. They can't see any of their fingers, they can't see the object. That way, the only sensory information that they can base their perception on is what they feel on their 2 fingers. And now moving on to experiment 2, we're going to add in this force sensor to replicate some tactile feedback and have the subjects perform the same experiments, but this time having the tactile object produce all of the weight and seeing exactly how much their perception may shift one way or another. And this is how this experiment 2 would look. As you can see, I have to physically change out the weights. What the subject sees on the computer is actually exactly the same as what they see in the first experiment. It's still going to be a blue block, then a green block. And now, going on to the last experiment in the study, and probably the most important experiment of the study, is now we're going to take both the objects, both the proprioception and the tactile objects, and we're going to start manipulating the proprioceptive inputs. Mainly, we're going to be manipulating gravity in the virtual environment and kind of see how their perception may shift one way or the other compared to the previous 2 experiments. And if that was kind of unfulfilling, unsatisfying, well, I have some great news for you. You can join me at the Symposium April 23rd at this link. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to see all of you there.